Welcome to Navajo County Connection. I'm Jason Whiting, Navajo County Supervisor, and today I have with me Iris Estes. We're going to be talking with the Forest Service here a little bit, but before we do, we've had an interesting summer so far, some fires throughout the state, of course, but it appears we're into the monsoon season, the season that we really like and look forward to, as we hope that the fire season is behind us and not in front of us. We wanted to talk with you a little bit today about that, but before we do, we'd really like to know a little bit about who you are, and so our guests have an idea of who you are and where you live and those types of things. So Iris, if you don't mind, tell us a little about yourself.
I live in Alpine. I've
Okay.
been there for a little over 12 years, and I've worked for the Forest Service a little over 12 years. Most of my career has been on the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest.
Perfect. Now Iris, I was talking with Iris a little bit before, and Iris has been around Arizona for quite some time and plans on staying here, and we obviously are very fortunate to have you. You've been over at the Apache Sitgreaves, you said, for 12 years?
A little over 12 years, yeah.
Yeah. And what's some of the various roles that you've had there?
I worked at the Supervisor's office as Conservation Ed for 7 years, and then I went to the district as a Support Service Specialist, Business Management Officer for the district, and now I'm at a detail for the Public Affairs Office back at the Supervisor's office.
Okay. I got a question for you. So I'm hoping that the rainy season's here and that the fires are hopefully a little bit behind us. Are you guys seeing the same thing, that the rainy season looks like the monsoon season has started now?
We feel that the monsoon season has started, but there's still going to be fires because with the rain comes the lightning. And this actually is our busiest time of year for fire starts because of the lightning activity that we get.
So if you don't mind explaining that a little bit further for our viewers, you might have more strikes or more fires, but are they more contained? Is that fair to say? Or explain the difference between before monsoon and now during monsoon season, if you don't mind.
Sure. Before monsoons, it's drier, windier, so any fire starts we get are going to be more severe. After the monsoons start and the rains come, we may be getting more starts, but they're going to be less severe for the fire behavior.
So it'll be less severe, and a lot of that I'm assuming because Mother Nature is helping you fight the fires as well?
Right. With the higher moisture content, in the atmosphere, it's going to be easier to contain those fires, and they're not going to grow as big as they would during the dry and windy seasons in the spring.
Okay. No, thanks for sharing that. And so obviously, while maybe there's a myth out there that now the monsoon season is here and we won't have fires, we actually do, and there's fire strikes. One of the things, and we can't really prevent those as far as citizens, but we also don't want to be naive and think that we can do whatever we want in the forest. What are some of the precautions that we need to have as citizens as we're in those to help stop fires from happening?
I think the main thing is to be aware of your surroundings. Make sure that there isn't any dry grass or anything. Right now we are still in stage 1 fire restrictions, and we will be until the conditions level out to where they can take those restrictions off. But there's still no campfires, no charcoal fires, only using propane or any type of other fuel that has a turn-off valve so that those fires won't get out of control. But once the fire restrictions are lifted, the stage 1 fire restrictions are lifted, people are still going to have to be more aware of their surroundings because it is going to dry out rather quickly if we get some winds like we normally do. So just make sure that there's no dry grass around your campfires, make sure there's nothing overhead of your campfire, and just be aware.
Be aware of the surroundings that are there then. And that's good to know. I didn't realize, I assumed that once the monsoon started, that would kick in, that the stage 1 restrictions would actually we would switch out of those, but that has not happened. Do you anticipate any time frame what would it take to switch out of that?
There's certain, criteria that they need to meet to take those down, and they're talking like maybe next week that'll
Really?
come around. So hopefully by then the stage 1 restrictions will come off. But like I said, people still need to be aware and be fire safe.
Now, I know that a lot of the local citizens have received numerous amounts of education with partnership through you, through the counties, the cities, the towns, and trying to educate our local citizens on what those restrictions mean and how to act when we have those restrictions. One of the questions I have, How about all these visitors that we have that come up into the area? How are they being notified that these things are happening, or helping them to be able to understand what that means that we're in stage 1 restrictions? Because I imagine there's some kind of like, maybe my thoughts, oh, well, it's raining, we can have fires now in the forest. Are you having problems with that?
I don't think we're having problems with that, no. People can call, the 311 information line. They can check our website, the Apache Sitgreaves, website, or they can go to our Facebook page, and all of that is, explained on all of those. And so if they have any concerns or questions, they can go there, or they can call one of the offices and it would be explained to them.
Okay, so you gave a couple different really good options then for information. Somebody that was curious, and rather than just going out and winging what they thought was right, they could reach out. You have a Facebook page?
Yes, we
You have
do.
the website for the Apache Sitgreaves, and then the phone number one more time that you said?
311.
Okay,
The
AZ311.
information.
Okay, and they should be able to get information there specific to the location they're looking to be camping or doing whatever in.
Yeah, there's fire information on there, and we update it daily, especially during fire season. It's even updated during weekends and holidays.
Well, we sure appreciate it. We really appreciate all the work that you're doing there, and look forward to working with you in the coming years. It sounds like you're not planning on going anywhere, and
Yeah,
we're grateful that you're not.
I'll be around.
We appreciate you being with us here today. Love the opportunity to be able to talk with you. That'll be the first, unless you had anything else that you'd like to share.
Well, I would like to say that we know that, we want people to come and enjoy the forest. We want people to bring their families and come and recreate. Remember that there's other visitors, out there. They're not the only people on the forest. There's other visitors, there's wildlife, there's local residents, and they should be, remember that those people are out there trying to do, enjoy the forest too.
Because really, they're all of our forests. We have a chance. It's
That's
it's
right.
kind of unique in this part of the United States where we have an opportunity. There's a lot of public lands that we all get to go and enjoy and participate in, whereas in other parts or other states, there's a very limited amount of that that's available for others. And so with the Forest Service out there managing that, we as citizens, I imagine, can be good partners with you guys in participating and managing and helping with our national forests. Is that a fair
Yeah.
statement?
Yes.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Well, we sure appreciate the partnership that we enjoy at Navajo County with the Apache Sitgreaves Forest. You guys have worked absolutely wonderful with us. We look forward to the continued relationship, and our citizens absolutely love the opportunity to be out and enjoying the forest, especially this time of year when it's beautiful and we have some good weather that's helping to prevent those fires that scare us all so much. So, well, that'll end the first segment of our conversation here today on Navajo County Connection. When we come back, we'll have the Pinetop-Lakeside Chamber of Commerce and the Snowflake-Taylor Chamber of Commerce, where we'll be discussing some of the various events that are going on throughout the summer season and, of course, then into the fall. We know we have a lot going on in our wonderful communities, and we'd like everybody to be aware of the wonderful activities that we have going on and the good that the Chambers of Commerce are doing. So when we get back, we'll be hearing from them. Thanks for being here today. We sure appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
Welcome back to Navajo County Connection. My name is Jason Whiting, Navajo County Supervisor, and I'm here today with the Chambers of Commerce, Pinetop-Lakeside and Snowflake-Taylor. We have Malaina Spillman with the Pinetop-Lakeside Chamber of Commerce, and we have Charlotte Hatch with the Snowflake-Taylor Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for being here today. We really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having us. Yep.
We're going to ask you some questions. We're going to throw some curveballs at you, and we're going to see if we can make this interesting. But before we do, I want to know a little bit about you guys, and our audience wants to know a little bit about you guys. So if you would, we're going to start with you, Malaina. Do you mind talking a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with the Chamber, and then Charlotte will come to you next after that.
All right, sounds good. I've been with the Chamber for about 5 years now, and I actually grew up in Pinetop-Lakeside, so it's kind of I guess you would say, a good fit since I know the area so well, and I do all the events at the Chamber and do the bookkeeping. So,
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Charlotte?
Okay, so I'm the executive director for the Snowflake-Taylor Chamber. Born and raised in Snowflake, and my family has a business. So when it comes to businesses that the Chamber supports and promotes for our community, I understand that. So I've been with the Chamber for 13 years. And Jason knows, because Jason was a part of our Chamber for many years. He's been a part, so I've been there a while.
Well, I got to tell you both, thank you for what you do. I've had a chance to work with you both in various capacities and seen the good work that you do in our communities. And our communities really do need the Chambers of Commerce. And you do a great job of partnering. You
Yeah,
help
we
the
try,
businesses,
yes.
you help the
Yes, thank you.
communities.
Yeah.
And you guys put on a lot of events that go on in these communities throughout here. So we sincerely appreciate the hard work that you do. We're very fortunate to have both of you guys in these communities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What we want to talk about is talk about some of the events that go on throughout the communities. And we're going to start with Pinetop-Lakeside and talk about what events do you have that are coming up?
So we have quite a few events coming up that are chamber and non-chamber related, but we've had several past events this year that have just been huge successes. We had, so if you don't mind, I'll talk about those real
No,
quick,
please,
and
please
then
do.
we'll go on to Fall Festival. In April, we had our annual dinner, and this year we completely changed everything that we did. We've always had a sit-down dinner and silent auction and live auction, and this year we brought in a company out of Phoenix to do a casino night. So we did a Roaring 20 speakeasy, and you had fake money and you went and gambled with it, and then you came and used that fake money to buy things in our store, and you bought tickets to go, and it was amazing. It was such a fun night. And so we're looking at doing something very similar next year, just maybe with a different theme, a different decade. And then in June we had our annual High Mountain Music Festival, and that was absolutely the best we have had yet. We had over 400 people there, and we're getting close to outgrowing our venue, which is a good thing.
Right.
And we had, I believe, 11 breweries, Arizona breweries, that came up and did some beer tasting, and then we had some distilleries there local to Arizona as well. So it was just a great time, had some great local bands, and yeah, it was really fun. So now we're moving on to Fall Festival, and as most people know, that's definitely our biggest event of the year and busiest weekend here in Pinetop-Lakeside. It's always the last full weekend in September. So this year it falls September 22nd through the 24th. And what Fall Festival is it's an arts and crafts show. And this year is actually our 42nd annual. So it's been going on for a long time. And we have a parade on Saturday the 23rd. That begins at 10 a.m. and it goes from about Compass Bank down to Blue Ridge Schools. And our theme this year is Great American Educators. I wanted to kind of give our teachers and educators a little, I guess you would say, a little honor. So, yeah. So we look forward to it.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah, it is. It's probably one of the best events that I look forward to, definitely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And we're all looking forward to fall. with
Oh,
this
yes,
hot weather we've had, so.
definitely.
We were just talking about the monsoons and how they were kicking in. So,
Yes, thank goodness.
well, very grateful for the events that you're putting on and have put on and all the
Thank
work
you.
that you guys do. I want to talk about that a little bit as well, a little further. I want to talk to Snowflake and Taylor, and what are the events that you've had going on and those that are coming up?
So what we do an auction dinner, which is our big fundraiser for our chamber, and we always do an outdoor cowboy theme, so then it's more casual. And we have Dan Turley. He's a live auctioneer. He's very famous in our area. He always supports us and comes in and is the live auctioneer. We always do great with him there. So we did have our auction dinner, and we had Trapper Days. Taylor had Trapper Days. That was over Memorial Day weekend. Of course, we had a little bit of wind, but it wouldn't be Trapper Days or Memorial Day weekend if you didn't have a little bit of wind there. We had a nice turnout for that. Taylor has what's called a triple crown, is what they're starting to call it. So it's Trapper Days, 4th of July, and Labor Day weekend, which is Sweet Corn Festival. So Trapper Days was the beginning of that triple crown. They have different rodeo events that go on at each event, and so that was the beginning of the triple crown. And then they had the 4th of July. And our 4th of July was over the top. I don't know if you were home for the 4th of July this year. This year they sold wristbands for the entrance because there is a limit of how many that they can hold, and they did have to stop the entries because they had met their capacity as far as that goes. But it's great. We have fireworks. It's a good event for our town that comes into Taylor. And from the 4th, then now we're moving into for Snowflake, because I am two communities, Snowflake and Taylor. We have Pioneer Days. So Pioneer Days is coming up July 21st and 22nd. And Pioneer Days is arts and crafts show. We have a car show. We have a parade. We have a 2-night rodeo. Now our Pioneer Day rodeo is different than our 4th of July rodeo. It's more of a family-oriented, how would I say? I want to say fun and games in a sense, because they do a grocery race on a horse. And if you've never seen that, that's fun. More family participates in, which is like games. And it's, like I said, 2 nights, fireworks, barbecue, golf tournament. So this is our largest for Snowflake, this event coming up, which will be July 21st, 22nd, Pioneer Days. And then after that, I guess Taylor will have their Sweet Corn Festival, which will be the end of their Triple Crown, and that's Labor Day weekend is the Sweet Corn Festival. So mentioning Sweet Corn Festival, that's my family. We do sweet corn, but sweet corn will be coming on the end of this month. So that's, people don't understand, Sweet Corn Festival is Labor Day weekend. That's the end towards the sweet corn. So we want to make sure people are aware that it's the next couple of months. They really come and visit us when it's over, and they're like, well, you just had your festival. So we want to make sure they know that it'll be on here in the next couple of months. We'll have that also, and then that kind of ties us in towards the end of the summer for our events.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Some really neat events that are going on throughout the communities. Let's talk real quick about those. There's a couple points I kind of wanted to pull out of that. The Chambers of Commerce, as Charlotte had mentioned earlier, are near and dear to my heart. I know how much work you guys put in and how much you guys care about the communities that you reside in, and you truly serve and have a servant's heart to help out in those. But I suspect you have quite a few visitors that come up for these events. Is that fair to say?
Oh, definitely.
What would you say on average that you have for your biggest event? How many people are coming into town?
For Fall Festival, I would say there's probably, just for that whole weekend, probably an additional 15,000 people that come up.
Wow.
Because you have the Run to the Pines car show as well, and there's several hotels that are already sold out for that weekend up in Pinetop-Lakeside, and then I
what's
know
your
that spills
population?
over. We're about 4,500 year round, and then during the summer that about triples with our snowbirds, as we call them. So yeah.
So you have quite a few that come to that.
We do.
About
yes.
15,000.
Yeah, and not all of those come into the fall festival. It's kind of split up, but that weekend brings in a ton of traffic. So
Good.
Yeah.
So much heavier. How about for you guys? How many?
So I always say for Pioneer Days, it seems like our town doubles in size. And so Snowflake-Taylor's population is about 10,000. A lot of families come home. I just feel like it kind of doubles in size. I do know for the 4th of July, they sold over 6,000 wristbands is what they sold. So, that was just one night in Taylor for the 4th of July event. So, and because we don't have the motels like we do, we're generous and we share because we do want to work together. And so we do send, a lot of people have to go to Shoalo or Pinetop-Lakeside for motels. But it's nice that in our towns that we do have events that's close enough to go to.
Yes.
Well, and that's one of the things I wanted to bring up is you guys have talked about a number of population that you're bringing in, and you clearly are chambers that put on events. Mm-hmm. However, you're also tasked with supporting the existing businesses. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to the businesses in your community when you have 15,000 people that come in? What do your hotels feel like, and what about your restaurants and those places? Are they full?
Absolutely. Like I said, our hotels here, it's July, barely middle of July, and we're already filled up for the last weekend in September. There's 3 or 4 that I've talked to that are completely booked. They have absolutely nothing available. And then the restaurants, they always joke that they spend pretty much the whole first part of September getting prepared for everybody to come into town, because that's their largest money-making weekend. It's bigger than any of the holiday weekends, just because it's like a holiday in Pinetop-Lakeside for Fall Festival.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's with us. We're, with us, our amount of businesses are smaller as far as restaurants or motels, but we do fill up. In fact, our motels that we do have, they'll fill up a year ahead of time for like Pioneer Days and the 4th. And so we do overflow into Shoalo, into Pinetop and Lakeside and that. And that's why we're, especially for us, Snowflake-Taylor, we're a seasonal town for tourism on that large capacity. because in the wintertime we are slower. You know, you guys are a little closer to the ski run. We do get some tourists for that, but our larger is in the summertime, and for tourists we have our historic homes, so that's kind of a something when they come in the summertime, well, all through the year, but something tourists come to see too. So.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, as we look at this, I mean, the reality is you're driving in quite a bit of businesses that are coming, or people that are coming up to the area that are going into our businesses, which is something that you're tasked with doing,
Right.
is supporting those local businesses. And clearly you're doing that. That's one of the ways that you guys are accomplishing it, is you're driving a lot of, as you mentioned, revenue into those businesses. It's like Christmas time in the summer,
Yeah.
you know, for them, and they're able to get those monies
Right.
in their doors, which further shows how important the chambers of commerce are throughout our communities.
And on the flip side of that, we appreciate the businesses that support us also.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for the businesses, we work together, we wouldn't be here either.
Yeah,
So
it's a big partnership.
Well, you guys work well together with each other, and I know that our chambers of commerce up here often meet together and talk and work together, rather than seeing each other as adversaries, but as friends and working together on these types of events. I know that you even, my understanding is you guys will even promote each other's events.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, we always do, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a neat thing to have up in this area, and we're grateful for all the work that you guys put in. Now, you talked about some of these events, and our viewers hopefully had a chance to listen to what there is to do there, but if they wanted additional information, let's start with Pinetop-Lakeside. Where would they go to get additional information?
So probably the best resource would be our website, which is really simple, Pinetop-Lakeside-Chamber.com. And if you don't find the answer that you're looking for, you are welcome to call us, and our phone number is 367-4290, of course, area code 928. And our email addresses are listed on our website as well. So we're pretty good about trying to get back to you. And we have Facebook as well. So we're starting to put a lot of information on our website about Fall Festival, and the parade application is already on there, as well as our artisan application too.
Perfect.
So.
Charlotte, how about over in your
And
guys'
ours
neck of
is
the woods?
Snowflake-Taylor-Chamber.org. And then our email and phone number information is on there also, but I'll give you the phone number, and it's 928-536-4331.
Excellent. Now, I know a lot of this work that you guys put on, we have visitors and even local citizens that are traveling from community to community to participate in those. I know my family does, going into each of these events and being able to enjoy them with my family. But I suspect it takes a lot of labor to put these on. You know, you have to have a lot of volunteers, and probably more than you have staff. If somebody wants to volunteer and help out with these, be part of the community and help you out, how would they get a hold of, let's start over here this time, in Pinetop-Lakeside or in Snowflake-Taylor, what would be the best way to get
Oh,
involved?
same thing. Please come in the chamber and visit us or give us a call. Volunteers are hard to find, and so we would love to have volunteers, especially summer people that come up, summer visitors that come up, and they just want something to do, and so we would love to have volunteers come in. Just stop by and visit us or give us a call.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Basically, same thing. Come in, visit us, take a look around, and just kind of hang out with us for a day and see if it's something that you want to do, and or if you want to help with the festivals or any events. We'd love to sit down and talk to you and tell you what we need and what would help, and or you can just give us a call too.
Well, we sure appreciate all that you do. You sure help out these communities that we live in, and we enjoy the activities you put on. I hear words used like part of our heritage or part of our culture, our tradition, and those definitely are what part of what you guys do is helping to put on those events that are very near and dear to our hearts, but also help drive revenue into our businesses. So we certainly appreciate all that you're doing. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you to those that have joined us here on Navajo County Connection. We enjoyed speaking with the Pinetop-Lakeside Chamber of Commerce and the Snowflake-Taylor Chamber of Commerce. And we will see you next time. Thank you.